Yo, yo. It's your boy King Marko in the building. Here to give y'all boys some game. Want y'all boys to like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell for a player. King's Court coming soon. Let's get into it. Well, to me, looking at this, these niggas is a day late and a dollar short. Okay? For real. All these black pastors, okay, running off at the mouth last year, talking about how bad Trump was as a president, how horrible he was as a president, as a leader of the free world, and now, a year later, they complaining about Joe Biden, and I ain't surprised. I ain't surprised at all. I told you, this before. You've been watching me for some time, for at least a year and a half. You've been hearing me saying how horrible Joe Biden was as a president. Okay, how horrible of a selection he would be as a president. I told you this dude is a dingbat. Straight up. Biden is a straight up dingbat. And he been fucking up, honestly, since day one. Literally. He been fucking up since day one. There ain't no answer about ain't no lying about this. Okay? You can't bring me two things that he's done good for the United States. You can't bring me two. Straight up. I guarantee I can bring you if you bring me two, I can promise you I can bring you 10. No doubt about it. I can bring you 10 things for every two you bring that he's done good. Okay. Now, black folks, especially these black preachers, and I'm not gonna say all of them because there were a lot of black preachers that were for Trump, believe it or not. A lot of black pastors were for Trump. But for the ones that wasn't for Trump and they were for Biden, screaming hard for Biden, okay, now y'all can't say nothing. Y'all just gotta run for cover now. And pray don't nobody mention y'all name when Joe Biden do something else stupid. Because he's gonna do something stupid. He been doing stupid shit ever since he been president. And you would know that he was going to be doing a bunch of dumb shit if the media wasn't sitting out there holding his hand. They was straight up holding his motherfucking hand the whole time he was running for president. Holding him. They ain't answering him no tough questions, no nothing. Okay? And even during them debates, they was holding his hand. Trump was all over him, and they was backing him off. They even had to cut one debate off. They had three. They normally have 3 debates. They only had 2. Because they knew at the end of the day, we can't keep holding this motherfucking hand. This motherfucker gonna eventually fuck up and say something stupid. So we gotta sit out there and hold and keep him away from the cameras as much as possible. Just like when he was running for president. This boy was sitting down there in a bunker. This boy was hiding. Running and hiding. Depending on the people to be stupid, which they were. Okay? Okay? A lot of black folks was dumb than a motherfucker. Okay? Never once asked Joe Biden, okay, well, what do you plan on doing for us, Joe? We're gonna give you a vote, but what are you gonna do for us? Joe Biden said, I ain't doing shit for you niggas. I ain't doing nothing for you niggas. As soon as he got elected, he sat there and said, I ain't doing shit. I ain't going out of my way to help you niggas. He told Al Sharpton and all them so-called black folks in that Zoom call and said, I ain't doing nothing for you niggas. You better go talk to the Mexicans. You better go talk to them first. Because I got to holler at them first because they the majority of the minorities. You niggas ain't the majority no more. I ain't got to talk to you niggas no more. You go talk to the Mexicans, and then after you talk to them, you go talk to me. So I ain't surprised that you're going to have black pastors coming out of the woodwork saying how bad of a job Joe Biden is doing. I ain't surprised. None whatsoever. This is only the beginning. You're going to see more and more black folks complain about how Joe Biden ain't did nothing. And you should have known he wasn't going to do nothing. We've been better off just letting Trump have his 4 years. Maybe Trump would have did something for us. He'd have did something a little bit better than this shit. I can tell you that. Joe Biden ain't did nothing for you. But let's listen to this black preacher talk about how bad of a job Joe Biden has done.
A year. Don't be looking at me like, no, our nation's gone backwards. A year ago, you were paying $2 a gallon for gas. Yeah, let's take it where you could relate. And you're paying almost $4 now because of his decisions.
Sure was his decision. That fool closed down that Keystone pipeline. Sure was. He ain't lying. He telling the truth. Okay? He telling the truth. Joe Biden on day one closed that damn pipeline. And ever since he closed that pipeline, has gas not been up? Yes. Is gas going to $7 a gallon because of the Ukrainian war? Yes. That motherfucker going to $7 a gallon. Okay? All because Joe Biden wants to buy oil from Russia.
Yeah, it's his decisions. 2 million people have crossed our borders from Mexico. Now he getting political. No, kingdom. And kingdom. Screwed it up. And these people coming in they don't get COVID tests.
Sure don't. They ain't getting no COVID tests. They let 2 million people in from the border. 2 million people. Okay? He ain't lying about this. This is all documented. He telling the truth. This ain't no lie. Okay, for all you people out there sitting thinking, oh, this is propaganda. This ain't no propaganda, man. This is real. Okay, they let 2 million undocumented immigrants in the United States with no vaccine, with no shot, and no mandate to be vaccinated either. Okay, they weren't mandated, and they being displaced. And this, honestly, this is why they were fighting for those voting rights to where you don't need to have an ID. Okay, they were fighting for you black folks. Okay, what black person in America don't have an ID? Huh? Tell me. A state ID is $10 to $12. You mean to tell me that black folks is so poor that we can't afford to even get an ID? Really? Y'all really believe that shit? Okay, they wanted to make sure that you don't have to have an ID for the people that's in this country illegally, and they can be voted because New York, right? New York said that they would allow illegal immigrants to vote. People that are not U.S. citizens to vote in New York City. They were trying to do that. I don't know if they have done that, but I know for a fact that that's what they were trying to do, and that's what those voting rights are about. Okay, what black person in America don't have an ID? You can't get benefits without an ID. Go try and be a U.S. citizen in the United States of America. Apply for welfare and don't turn in your ID. Your case will not be authorized. That is fact. Okay? It's fact. Case won't be authorized, buddy. Plenty of times a person's case has been denied because they haven't turned in their identification. Okay? You can't have an ID. You can't function in the United States without an ID. So I don't hear this bullshit about black folks don't have enough money to go buy an ID. Really? Fuck out of here. I'm not trying to hear that. Okay, with all this PPP loan shit popping out and everything, you mean tell me them niggas ain't had no ID? You can't go to the bank and withdraw money without an ID. What are you talking about? Huh? What are you talking about here?
And they aren't forced to get vaccinated. And they put on airplanes, read your paper. No, they ain't gonna put this in your paper. They don't report this. But they are flying people who cross the border illegally, your government is flying them to cities across the United States and putting them up in hotels and paying for them with your money.
He ain't lying. He ain't lying. He telling the truth. Okay, who you think is footing the bill for all this shit? When you flying all these people from Afghanistan and now Ukraine and everything else, where you think they're gonna be? Who you think paying for that? Yeah, we paying for it. Okay, we ain't tell the motherfuckers that it's okay to let all these Ukrainians and all these illegal people come up in here. Shit, we already you ever been to LA? You ever been to Seattle, Washington? You ever seen this stuff, man? These people, man, people are homeless like a motherfucker now. Well, take your ass to the West Coast and see how many people are living in tents. Go over there and see what's going on. They bringing in more people. They can't even take care of the people that's U.S. citizens, and now they want to bring in some people that ain't. All because they owe them a political favor. Fuck out of here.
Only took a year to screw the country up. Just took a year. Just took a year. Okay, he must be a Trump supporter. No, I believe. Yeah. In a year's time, men who say they women are competing on the college level in women's sports.
Now, look, he ain't lying about that. He ain't lying about it at all. Now, I'm not against trans. Be whatever you want to be. Okay, if you want to be a trans, you feel like if you're a man and you feel like you more of a woman than a man, hey man, I can't tell you how to live your life. Live your life. Okay? But there is a certain line that we have to cross here. Okay? We shouldn't be having guys competing against girls. Okay? It's just not healthy. Okay, to me. I don't see where it's okay for a man who was playing against guys that now, since he's a lady, he can go play against the girls and set all the records. Set all the records that'll never be broke by a woman. He'll set them all. Okay. Now we're gonna be looking at transgenders in the WNBA. That's gonna be next. I can see that happening, which means another woman without a job. Okay, that's what it says. Think about it. If they have more trans, because the trans is going to come into the WNBA, that's going to happen. And when it does, you know what that means? That's one less female without a job. Okay, that's where we're headed, buddy. So all you women out there that sit out there and say, "Yeah, baby, go ahead and live your life. You want to be a woman? Be a woman." That same woman that you rooting for about to take your job. Okay, and you've seen it in sports. Joe Biden has sat there and made that priority number one. He changed that shit the first day he got in the office. Straight up. That's what he did. So now he's hindering women. Trump would have never signed off on that shit. Would have never signed off on it. Okay? I ain't against trans. Live your life. You know? All I ask for you trans is to acknowledge who the fuck you are. You know what I'm saying? That's all I ask. You know what I'm saying? Acknowledge who the fuck you are. If you a trans, hey, live your life. Say that you a trans. Don't be a trans and posing as a woman. You know what I'm saying? And fooling niggas. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Get that shit together on that. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be free all the way. Don't be sitting there and say, "Oh, I'm a trans," but then you still trying to hide it from a nigga. No, don't hide. Don't do that shit. Be that shit. Okay? And for all you trans out there competing against girls, that's weak. That's weak. You shouldn't be trying to compete against girls. That's a girl's sport, man. They're already physically inferior to a man when it comes to sports. Okay? When it comes to athletics, there's no doubt. A woman is inferior to a man when it comes to that. And you have no business being in a girl's sport. None. But Joe Biden thought it was cool. He thought it was okay. How is that okay, Joe? More and more trans are going to cross over and then there's going to be girls out of jobs. What do you say to that? Okay, the girls are going to lose scholarships because trans are going to enter into college athletics as well. And when they enter into college athletics as well, okay, that's another girl that's not getting a scholarship. Okay, it's fact. You go, it's only so many scholarships they can pass around. And then next thing you know, when they have one or two trans, next thing you know, in order for the coaches to keep their job, you know what the coach is going to do? The coach is going to recruit more trans. They're going to be recruiting less and less girls. Okay? That's just going to happen.
And depriving women who have been working all their lives to be the best woman in their sport, the ability to be that, because this man won't be a girl now. A year. One. I got here by introducing the fact that the world is beat. Satan has released a spirit of deception. Mm-hmm. He has released it. Black folks don't like me talking about this. They can't stand it when I talk about it. It was all I could do when the congressman came here. Now, I told somebody to tell that man, now I'm going to let you speak, but don't you get up here talking about politics. Okay. And I'm going to make sure that the Voting Rights Act is passed. It was all I could do. And the Holy Spirit checked me because I was coming up. I was going to straighten that dude out. That's because you ain't telling folks the truth. This government has people believing that people are deprived of the opportunity to vote. Because they're saying these red states is trying to keep our people from voting. Hogwash! You should have identification to vote.
That's right. You need to have ID to vote. Okay? You need to have ID to vote, people. And what black person ain't got no ID? We went over this before. But what black person ain't got no ID? Okay? You can't do nothing without an ID. You can't get a credit card without an ID. You can't open up a bank account without an ID. You can't get a bottle of liquor without an ID. You can't do nothing without an ID. Who the fuck ain't got no ID? I ain't saying driver's license. I'm saying ID. If you ain't got a driver's license, you can still get a state ID for $12. Okay? You get that. Ain't that hard? If somebody gave you a check for $5,000 and you ain't got no ID, you mean tell me you're not going to go down there and get an ID? Really? Cut it out.
You shouldn't just be able to vote without being identified as a citizen and a resident of the area that you live in. It's wrong. We're going to get that voting right. We're going to forcefully advance. I'm just sitting in my chair. Tell people the truth. They ain't giving people opportunity to vote. You look at the states who pass these laws that are considered racist. They have more polling sites, longer voting hours. Get quiet on me. It's okay. You shall know the, and the shall set you.
You see, the problem that I have with this whole voting rights thing and black folks saying that, oh, this is a racist, thing that they're doing, and for all the people that's sticking up and says, oh, black folks, they don't need to have an ID. They are already poor. That's disrespectful. You know what they said? We've been in this country for 250 years. Longer than that, longer than that, 400 or 500 years if you're talking about slavery. Okay. But as far as the existence of the United States is like 250 years. Okay. They basically said that we so poor that we can't even afford an ID. That's how low they think of black people. They still think black people is indigent. They still think black people still picking cotton. They still sharecropping. Okay, we sharecropping, but we not sharecropping that bad. Okay, I understand that we haven't reached our full potential in America, and that's by design. Some of it's by design, but are we that poor? Are we that poor to the point that we can't even afford an ID? Are you serious? Are we that sorry as a people? Do y'all really think that low of us? It's disrespectful to even say stuff like that, to even think that way. I hope black folks don't think that we so poor and we so desperate that we can't even afford to get an ID. That's how they think. If that's the case, that's why I didn't agree with none of this bullshit to begin with. Okay, I didn't believe in none of that voting rights shit act to begin with because of that alone. Okay, I'm sorry, but going back to Joe Biden, that fool done messed it all up. Done messed it all up for the whole country as a whole. Okay, not only we got high gas prices, you can't get a steak less than $27 now. You know, you go to a restaurant, the steak is $27. You go to a Longhorn restaurant, man, the New York Strip is $27. You spend about $60 with you and your lady. You spend about $75 if you add drinks at a restaurant now. Okay, can't get nothing. I went to the store one time and tried to get some milk, and all the damn shit was empty. The shelves was empty completely. Okay, all this shit is under the Biden administration, man. Okay, I'm looking at it, and shit about to get higher than what it's at right now. That's where it's gonna go. Okay, I'm sorry. We about to take a loss. Prices of everything has gone up. You think Jordans are expensive? Shit, wait 2 years from now. Jordan's gonna be $350. That's what they're gonna be. That's what I see. Man, you have to be making $100,000 just to live. You gonna need 100 if you live in a regular, not California and all them rich states, but like in a regular state, like Iowa or something like that, man, you gonna need to be making $100,000 just to live. In California, shit, you gonna need to be making $5 million to live just to live. In California, you gonna need to be making $5 million. Damn near the NBA players that's on league minimums of playing for the Lakers, they're gonna be flying for welfare in a minute. They're gonna be asking for food stamps because it's so hard to live there. Man, it's retarded. This whole inflation thing is just totally out of control right now. It really is. Inflation's out of control. Gas prices are out of control. You know, working a job. I don't know about jobs being as plentiful as they are. I don't know about that. Okay, this whole thing coming down. The stock market ain't acting right. Okay, it's just a lot of uncertainty going on right now under the Biden administration, and Biden ain't got no answers for none of this shit. None of it. Nobody got no answers. I mean, if people could reverse their decision on Joe Biden, man, 75% of people will reverse their decision right now. I'm willing to guarantee that 75% will reverse the other 25 is just holding on because of their pride. But deep down inside, you break them down, some of them will reverse their decision too. Okay, that's where we at right now. That's how bad of a job Biden is doing, and he ain't got no answers for nothing. Nothing. He be sitting, everybody sitting there holding his hand again like they always do, holding it and holding it tight. He got his wife holding his hand. This boy can't even walk down the steps without his wife holding his hand. That's how brain dead he is. Seriously. I saw on the news where Jill Biden is holding Joe Biden's hand while walking out of a press conference. She holding his hand. What kind of shit is this? That's not presidential. Okay, it's really not. This shit is not presidential for your wife to hold your hand to make sure you don't fall down the steps. That tells me right there he ain't there. He just signing paper. He just whatever's on the table, he just signing it. He ain't even reading half the stuff that he's signing. He just signing it. Here, Joe. Here's to cut the Keystone Pipeline. All right, cut it. I'll sign it. Here, Joe. Here's the policy for you to let the guys compete against girls. Sign it. All right. Joe, we want to bring in 3 million Afghans from Afghanistan. Okay. Put them everywhere. We got 300,000 Afghans in the United States of America. We got 2 million Mexicans coming in illegally. Okay. What are we gonna do with this, man? What are we gonna do with this? All this shit is gonna sink America, man. You about to get sunk. Stock market about to crash. That bitch holding on for dear life right now, for real. And you know it's gonna crash. Everything else is crashing. What makes you think that the stock market ain't gonna crash? That bitch gonna crash. Housing market gonna crash. Everything gonna crash under the Biden regime. It's all gonna fall down. Why wouldn't it fall down? Everything else fell down. Housing market gonna crash. Stock market gonna crash. Car market gonna crash if we keep on going electric. Shit, we gotta buy the cobalt from China. Car market probably gonna crash too. Okay, bottom line, the whole thing gonna crash, man. All under his watch. This shit right here is totally out of control, man. Totally out of control. And I don't see nothing good happen out of this. Not while this fool is running the show. And Kamala Harris, she ready to get up out. She ready to get up out of there. I'll tell you that right now. Dealing with Russia and you this gangster shit running around. Shit, she's starting to realize, hey, being president ain't what it's all cracked up to be. Shit, hey, I'm ready to get up out of here. Shit, I ain't gangster enough for this. Yeah, I can kiss some babies. I can throw a few niggas in jail, but when you start dealing with Putin and Kim Jong-un and all these gangsters and all these bullets flying around, shit, she ain't ready for this. She ready to go home. This ain't no picnic. Moving forward, I want y'all boys to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, man. I see a lot more black folks just like him who's going to be sitting out there and wanting Biden up out of the White House real soon. Y'all give him one more time, one more mess up, one more good mess up, and his ass is going to be and then black folks going to be sitting there crying, talking about we want him gone. And Barack Obama ain't nowhere to be found. Okay, he ain't nowhere to be found. He gonna be too scared to get up on that stage talking about, yeah, let's let Joe back in for 4 more years. Hey, he gonna be reluctant to do that shit because he already know the temperature of black folks right now is at all-time low. And don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on what Joe Biden is gonna do to black folks. I ain't gonna tell you what you about to get started. That PPP loan for sure is gonna sink black folks. That shit he's the reason why black folks was even getting that money, and now he gonna be the reason why black folks is either going to jail or they're gonna pay a heavy fine. One or the other. Either way, he's the reason behind all this. But black folks, I'm gonna have to tell you, I gotta be honest with you. All you black folks that voted for this nigga, I'm going to tell you right here, right now, you get what you deserve. This is exactly what it is. You get what you deserve, y'all. It's your boy, King Marko. I'm signing out. Black folks, get y'all shit together.